Have you ever noticed how much of your day is spent trying to control things? Your plans, your emotions, the way others see you, even the smallest details of how life unfolds. We plan, predict, and worry. We chase certainty and cling to the idea that if we just try hard enough, we can keep everything in place. But the truth is, control is an illusion. The more we try to hold on, the more life slips through our fingers, just like sand. Today, we will explore this illusion of control, what it costs us, and how we can begin to live in harmony with the natural flow of life. So take a deep breath. Let your shoulders drop, and for the next few moments, just listen. From the moment we wake up, we begin our attempts to manage life. We check the weather before stepping outside. We make lists, schedules, routines, all in search of safety and order. There is nothing wrong with these things. But beneath them often lies fear of uncertainty, fear of loss, fear of not being enough. We tell ourselves, if I can just get everything right, then I'll be at peace. Yet peace never comes that way, because peace is not found in control. It's found in acceptance. In Zen philosophy, the need to control is called attachment. We become attached to outcomes, attached to how things should be. And when reality doesn't match our expectations, we suffer. There's an old story about a Zen farmer that beautifully captures this truth. Once, there was a farmer whose horse ran away. His neighbors came to console him, saying, "What terrible luck." The farmer simply replied, "Maybe." The next day, the horse returned and brought with it 3 wild horses. The neighbors exclaimed, "What wonderful luck!" The farmer again said, "Maybe." Later, his son tried to ride one of the wild horses, but fell and broke his leg. Once again, the neighbors said, "What bad luck!" The farmer calmly said, "Maybe." A week later, soldiers came to the village, conscripting all the young men for war. But the farmer's son was spared because of his broken leg. The neighbors cried, "What good luck!" And again the farmer said, "Maybe." This story reminds us that life cannot be labeled as good or bad in the moment. What seems like loss today may be grace in disguise tomorrow. When we let go of trying to control the meaning of every event, we open ourselves to the mystery of life. The desire to control is born from the ego, the part of us that believes we are separate from life. It whispers, "I must make things happen. I must shape the world." But in truth, you are not separate from life. You are life. You are the ocean, not just a wave trying to move the sea. When you see yourself as separate, control feels necessary. When you see yourself as part of the whole, control becomes meaningless. The river doesn't need to control its flow. It simply moves. And that is enough. Trying to control everything drains our energy. We overthink, overanalyze, overprepare, and still, things go differently. We become anxious, tense, exhausted from fighting what is. But when we release the grip, even a little, something magical happens. We begin to trust. We start to see that life moves with its own rhythm. That sometimes not getting what we want is exactly what we need. Control gives the illusion of strength, but surrender reveals true power. So how do we begin to let go? It starts with awareness. Notice when you're trying to force things, when you're clinging to a plan or resisting what's happening. Then pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, can I allow this moment to be as it is? This doesn't mean giving up. It means aligning yourself with reality rather than fighting against it. The Buddha said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." When you stop trying to control, peace naturally arises, because peace was never gone. It was only buried beneath resistance. Look at nature. The tree doesn't demand the sun to rise or the rain to fall. The river doesn't argue with the rocks in its path. It simply flows around them. Life moves effortlessly when we stop resisting its current. When we trust that life is unfolding exactly as it should, we begin to live differently. We speak slower. We listen deeper. We stop rushing to fix everything and simply be present. That is when wisdom begins to whisper. One day, you'll look back and see that most of the things you worried about never happened. And even the hard moments were your greatest teachers. You'll see that you were never really in control. And that's okay, because something far greater was guiding you all along. Call it life, the universe, spirit, or God. It doesn't matter what name you give it. It has always been carrying you. When you stop trying to steer the river, you finally learn to float. So remember this. You don't need to control everything. You only need to show up. Awake, kind, and open to life. Take a deep breath. Release your grip on what you think should happen. And let life happen through you. When you surrender, you don't lose power. You discover where it truly lives,